me, she would pay my bill. Cause sometimes I be acting so reckless. Me and why be drunk before breakfast means we probably getting arrested. I get wrecked and turn relentless. Guess for most people that's true. Ooh, but the way that
She was very nervous to give the bio. You got a lot going on, though. I'm Shle Berry. Hi. I rap and stuff, but lately I've been kind of singing more, so I don't really know if I'm a rapper. I don't know what I am right now. So
Artiste.
I'm just an artist, and I fluctuate a lot. You're going to hear a lot of new music today, so I've done some growing over COVID. I think we all have. It's been a long time coming. Last time I was here was 2019, and I had a really cool experience with that. I really align with the values of the ladies rock thing. Being a female musician, there's just a lot of things you have to put up with, and I think empowering other women, I know we got a long way to go, but obviously us feeling more confident in that, I think is going to go a long way, because sometimes we shy away from stuff because men. No offense to my male friends in the room. But you hear numbers like 90% of producers are male or 90% of bass players are male, and you're just like, well, where's their representation for people like me? So that was hard kind of growing up because I didn't know a lot of people that represented themselves like me. So I was kind of not very confident, all things considered. I know people are like, but you're a rapper. You're supposed to be confident. It's like, it's scary up here. Belting your soul, and you're just like, I hope someone connects with it. So I'm going to play 4 songs today, and they've all come out over the course of COVID. And this first one that I'm going to play was actually the first song I dropped after COVID had started, and I had all these plans like we all did, and it kind of all came to a stop. And I stopped making music. I was feeling really emotional during that time, and when I write, obviously it's coming from a real place, and sometimes I don't want to write because I don't want to talk about the wounds and open them up. Sometimes I'm not ready for that. So this was the first one that I decided to express after all the COVID thing was kind of happening, all the racial things that were going on. It was just like a really heavy time, and I didn't know how to present myself in a way that was like helpful. I felt like I wasn't using my platform right, and X, Y, and Z, and I'm an overthinker, and I'm over talking, and I know you guys want to hear me. So this first song is called When the Snow Melts. So I guess I'm doing fine, but I chose to unveil the pieces of my mind that I'm close to. So if I don't get paid a dime, I had hopes to. Feels like I'm running out of time, but I'm supposed to. We turned it up, got the game. Actually, start it over one more time. I want to sing this with you. I really like this chorus. I'm gonna sing this. I should not.
Stopping and starting over because we're all afraid of like fucking up our songs tonight and not being ready to.
I fuck up my songs all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So, little hack for that, having somebody up on stage with you that knows the music helps out a lot. And also just not being afraid to make fun of yourself. Like, it makes it so endearing from like the audience perspective, and like, oh, they're not like better than me. What is happening here?
I don't ever try to present myself in a squeaky clean way, because it's like I mess up every time I perform. I'll mess up the words. You have to. It is what it is. You just kind of roll with it.
It happens to everybody, whether they want to admit it or not. So just like owning it and being like, you know what? I'm giving you guys a better show than that. We're gonna start this shit over, and then
people relate to it more. Okay, run it back. Can you guys hear me okay in comparison? 'Cause the headphones are, I'm not really sure what's coming out to you guys. Cool. I guess I'm doing fine, but I chose to unveil the pieces of my mind that I'm close to. So if I don't get paid a dime, I had hopes to. Feels like I'm running out of time, but I'm supposed to. Hey, we turn it up, got the gang pump, let that thing bump. Roll some blizzies in the back and watch them blow out through the front. I'm religious with my sermons if they rattle from the trunk. Trying to bridge between the families was Tuesday. A cocktail with my orange juice is much stronger than what they do say. Cruising around on the south side with the women calling me Dulce. The venue booked through that weekend, so we sold it out on a Tuesday. Okay. They hella mad, yes I can tell. We holding back but oversell. Hey, we out here acting like they know me well. But baby girl, you barely know yourself. So during this time, I was really battling a lot of confidence things. And I realized that the only reason I wasn't dropping music was because I was just afraid of judgment, and I was afraid how people were gonna deal with that. And I'm always the one person that's in my own way. And it's like, if you, even like messing up on stage, just like let it happen. Just like let the universe be what it is. And I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at just like showing up as myself. I hope you guys dig that. I guess I'm doing fine, but I chose to unveil the pieces of my mind that I'm close to. So if I don't get paid a dime, I had hopes to. Feels like I'm running out of time, but I'm supposed to. I thought I'd had enough. I questioned if I wanted bad enough. So I went ahead but felt it backing up. With some heavy doubts like, am I black enough? But all of us go untranslated, been gassed up and been underrated, but graded on the appeal. It's not complicated, I made it clear, I won't apologize how I feel. When I had to suck it up and take bad cards and play hands that weren't that ideal. I was so careful about my tempo, gotta be liked but not fulfilled. Am I late to approach? Maybe I'm scared if it's real, cause it can carve out your throat, but doesn't change the appeal. I'm tired of getting my hopes up, so fuck how you feel. I'm not afraid if it won't, I'm much more scared if it will. I'm much more scared if it will. So yeah, that I felt like the snow was melting when I made that, so that's why I kind of called it When the Snow Melts. I added some real birds in there. I was like going on walks on the Hank Aaron Trail, so I added some of those little things. I was like, this is really what it feels like when the snow melts outside, you know? So this next one, so I don't try to make like super poppy music like on purpose, but like this one just kind of came out of me. So this is kind of a like, you can move your shoulders a little bit if you want to kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I encourage it. Especially for this one. Oh yeah, this is my show. So this one is like, we'll talk about it later. It's more of a lesbian pop song. And I feel like there's not a lot of those out there, so I thought this one was kind of tight. Lesbian anthem. Come on.
It's not usually what I like, but lately I don't mind it. We stayed out all night, did it over again and over again.
I've had a lot of girls tell me that it's not what they usually like, but lately they're not minding it.
We stayed out all night, did it over again and over again.
Hey, got the top down, feeling gassed up. Girl, I'm headed downtown, I'll pick your ass up. Ain't what we used to, ain't tryna sweat you, but if she wants to, I'ma let her. Hey, something different when she hopped in. Didn't notice it all before, so I walked in. One shot, two shots when we walked in. DJ had the party on lock, it was popping. Hey, picking plays off top. If you're gon' pull me close, baby, please don't stop. Any place you wanna go, we can pull up on spot. Big shot gets whatever she wants. Hey, hey.
Usually what I like.
I need some shoulder movement from it.
I don't mind it. We stayed
I know y'all got it in you. You guys are musicians. There's some rhythm in all of you.
Not usually what I like, but lately I don't mind it. We stayed out all night, did it over again and over again.
Hey, too busy in the summer now. Whole city turned up when the sun is down. Big T's, I'm amazed by the run around. No, she looking bad in that button down. Good Lord, every motherfucking venue all packed. Remember, listens in the blazer, all black. Hands on, getting bounced like the speakers. Kept my Vans on, cause they look like sneakers. Felt the difference in the first grade when I was trying to kiss the girls at my birthday. Shit, I had doubts when I showed her better play. She ended up calling in on her work day. Sheesh.
Not usually what I like,
But lately I don't mind it.
we stayed out all night, did it over again and
guys are having a good time. That one's called What I Like. That's a fun one. This next one, so like, this is what I mean. I don't know if I'm a rapper because this next one is...
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Just run it. If anything can happen, yeah. Why do I hold on to the past then? Yeah. Seen some shit you can't imagine. Whoa, but I still ain't got it like that. Yeah. I can't tell what you want. I've been so upfront. Promise me this won't be for nothing. Days pass, roll the dice. No rest, no advice. Love it when we both up to something. Yeah. Up to something, darling. Hey, I guess it is what it is. You got some snaps in you? Yeah. Up to something, darling. Hey, I guess it is what it is. Hey, fully admit I had a slow start. Yeah, cold-blooded from a cold heart. Yeah, there's more to classical than Mozart. Like cruising the 64 to race the go-karts. It's no thing, no. The memories are divine. Got a taste of my perspective from the enemy lines. Each of us have gotten traits that we're trying to define. All your dreams are for the taking if you give them some time. They're right there, baby. Hey, you take care, baby. Hey, just promise you keep fighting out there even when it ain't fair, baby. Nothing else to do. I got nothing to lose. No. Cause I'm so sick and tired of having something to prove. No, cause I can't tell what you want. I've been so upfront. Promise me this won't be for nothing. Days pass, roll the dice. No rest, no advice. Love it when we both up to something. Yeah. Up to something, darling. Hey. I guess it is what it is. Yeah. Up to something, darling. Hey. I guess it is what it is. Yeah. Something, darling. Hey. I guess it is what it is. Yeah. I don't know what genre that is, so it's just like we're rolling with it. That one's called It Is What It Is. I was in a mood with a girl, and it was just like, I guess it is what it is. I hope this isn't for nothing, so. This next one is one of my favorite songs I think I've ever written.
It's definitely the jagged edge of Shle. Not like jagged as a group, but like the pointed, this is how I feel, here's my middle finger, kindly go fuck yourself type of Shle Berry coming out here.
I think you guys are going to like it. It's one of my favorites. It's called Solo. If you've ever been dealing with some shit on your own, I feel like you'll relate to this shit.
Who am I when I'm all alone?
I don't mind stank faces for this one, too, you know?
These beneficiaries call my phone. The only time it ever blows up. Yeah. Where were you when I was on my own? They take the ride until it slows up.
Yeah.
Pointing fingers when the fire has grown. Putting blame on the flames when it goes up.
Faded is spilling on the floor. Shit. What kind of woman do you take me for? Yeah, I get so buried in my thoughts. I open up when I'm lost. I'm slowly feeling the cost of what it's like to gamble for your freedom. All these half-steppers acting like I need them. I've been screaming into the void. My traumas won't let me feel it. You say that your bars are better. I promise I'm more resilient. I'm so done trying to bottle my wrongs when they're always on. Ay, I ain't been long, but it's all I've known, and I'm so far gone. Ooh, mad, but we choose to keep on taking shit that we're so used to. Finding permanence in niggas who just cruise through, cause those who take advantage are ones that love to accuse you.
Who am I when I'm all alone?
victim of some crippling decisions. Abandoned if you reckless, what a rippling collision. Cause when I'm the result, it's self-fulfilled by definition. I've seen how much it's worth, I've seen them scribble out their vision. But I've been grinding, triple over timing. It's crazy when you focus how quickly you tend to find it. That talk begins to surface like this bitch is not the nicest. The trade is underwhelming when the legacy is priceless. Cause I've been lifted by the sound, turn my mind off. The two indifferent about the rounds when the dime's off. I bust my lip and hit the ground, but it dies off. No filthy fingers on my crown, keep them guys off. It really seems like y'all need something to do. These little boys be acting grown until they nut in their boot. Y'all never granted me my space, that's why I'm up in your view. I hope the message was provocative and fucked up your mood. Sleazy.
Who am I when I'm all alone?
Hey.
When you really learn when no one shows up.
Yeah.
Beneficiaries call my phone. The only time it ever blows up. Yeah. Where were you when I was on my own? They take the ride until it slows up.
Hey.
Point your fingers when the fire has grown. Put blame on the flame when it goes up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a mood when I wrote that. You know? Yeah, that's one of my favorites. You can find all those on Spotify. It's Shleberry, S-H-L-E. I'll even give you some time to look it up, or I can help you spell it, anything like that. You know, we can just make sure I
Only
get
if you
my
had something-
half a penny for a
If there
stream.
was something that had your name on it already that they could look at.
There's some things I have if you like stuff.
If you like things.
If you like things,
Boy, do we have them.
We have them. We don't have to do that right now, but yeah, I have a lot of songs out. There's a new one out right now. I just dropped it in September. That one's called Sour Fruit. That one's kind of more pop punk. I know every song I just played for you guys was kind of like different, and that's kind of where I'm at right now with music. So
Shle's a lot like a box of chocolates, you know?
you really don't know.
Milk chocolate.
I'm an emotional being. It's just like whatever's gonna come out is gonna come out. So don't ever feel like you have to like stay in a genre, or if you decide that you're rock and then you're like, oh, but I can't do rap or I can't do hip hop because I said I was a rock. Like you don't have to. Titles are. You don't have to stick with those.
Do what feels right. What's fun. What keeps you entertained with it. Because if you lose,
You can be
the
non-binary in the music space too. Like you don't have to commit to something. You can just do whatever you want.
I go by punk rock. You can be like, no, I want to do J-pop. You know, if you speak Japanese, I guess. But there's so many different So Shle actually was working on some music with a couple friends, and they went by a different moniker called Jillian's Revenge because Shleberry, Yogi B, and Keys was a long name.
It's a mouthful.
But they were using that even as an extension of a way to be creative in a different space than what their current brands were laying at. And really some of my favorite music that any of them have ever actually made. And it's just like a free way to get away from your own brand and your own the box that people put you in by going under that different name, and then they were able to do some stuff that actually felt
Because
like
there was
really
no
punk.
expectation. Yeah.
And
And go ahead.
no, like they released a little EP, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
Mixtape,
Yeah, it was like an EP.
called "Shit Can Be Worse," and every single song in there went from like spitting rhymes down your throat to "I'm gonna sing to you" and "I'm in love" and "I'm heartbroken" to like a bitterness to an uplifting song that felt like it should be at the end of Coach Carter or something. You know, like.
It's like humans, you have a full spectrum of emotion. So it's like you don't have to box yourself in with something. I don't ever feel like you should. And experiment. Don't ever be afraid to like try new things. That's how you find more out about yourself.
Yep. And like think about some of the most prolific artists and bands of all time, you know, like how different
Queen,
their sound was.
Elton John,
Queen, Beatles,
Prince.
Elton John, Prince, yeah. Like even like Mariah Carey, sure, most of it's like pop, but so many different emotions were enveloped in the things that she was making. You know, like Whitney Houston was amazing at being able to dive into different emotions. You know, so don't feel boxed in. I guess I'm talking too much like Shle does.
That's okay. Yeah, he gets it from me.
me.
It's really a nervous habit more than it is anything else. But yeah, that's my music. If you guys were fucking with it, thanks. The last one's called Solo. It has like a purple cover on it. Yeah. Are we doing the Q&A in here? It is. It's fucking dope in here. So, I'm going with the flow, babe. Whatever you guys want from me. If you guys have questions, I guess, if that's, hit me.
Yes. Yeah, just like just aggressive, like talking some trash. Yeah, it's just like a way
Don't gas him up. Don't gas up Yellow Hat. Don't gas him up. He's Yellow Hat from here on out. I already gave him too much by giving him a mic, so.
Yeah, way too much power.
Yeah, I don't shy away from questions. If you want to ask me a weird question, like.
So the third one, I was getting a little bit of like Lauryn Hill vibes.
Ooh. Okay, no, don't gas her head up. We're not gonna fit in the car anymore.
I love Lauryn Hill. She's someone that like I feel like didn't get enough credit because like when Kanye and Drake were coming out and everyone was like, oh, they can sing and rap. I'm like, Lauryn Hill been doing that. Like she's been killing that space. So I was just like, whatever. The men thing again. We can, yeah. Jesus. I do like her a lot. Actually, I just got a vinyl player for the first time because I know that's like making a comeback. And the first vinyl that he bought me was the Fugees album and the what's her Miseducation. Yeah. I was like, Chris, out of anything you could have got me, you got me like this woman empowerment one. I was like, man, you know me so well. But yeah.
So how did you guys like?
Oh God. So when I was in 8th grade or 7th grade, I sat next to one of my brother's friends in gym. And then my brother's friend, when he was a freshman in high school, when I was a freshman in high school, I went up to Nathan Hale, and he was like, oh, this is my friend Tony. And then his friend Tony was like, oh, my friend Shle's playing some powder puff football over there. Let's go watch. And then we went to Taco Bell afterwards, and we started talking.
History, really.
And then, yeah, Shle called me out on my bullshit because I wasn't cool, but it wanted to be. And she's like, you're cool and you're just you. And that was the first time somebody was like real with me in a way that like made me uncomfortable but pushed me to be me. And
that's like what I do.
And yeah, so then we just became friends. And then she's making music. I tried to rap. Don't look it up. Don't ask Shle about it.
I'll leak it.
But
I'll
then
put it on the
yeah,
web.
eventually she's like, what do you like? I want to kind of do music. Do you want to do any music stuff? And I was like, I like music a lot, and I listened to a lot of it. I could
It was
maybe
kind of
DJ.
accidental because it was like I was starting to make music, and then I finally started getting some shows, and I was like, well, I kind of need a DJ to play my stuff. And he's always been a big fan of music, so I was like, well, do you just want to help me out? If you like it, cool. If you don't, I'll fuck off. But like maybe just for a little bit, we can see what this is like. And he ended up really liking it. I don't know why. But we've been doing shows together now since 2014. And yeah. We just have a lot of chemistry on set, and we're kind of like each other's safety blanket when we're up here. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe we should do some shows separate, practice detachment, you know. I've been learning a lot about attachment theory because I'm like getting older and I have to like deal with my trauma and shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we've been doing this for a while and we're not sick of it yet. So we're going to keep doing it until it's not fun anymore, I guess.
So that's a good segue to what I wanted to ask. Can you talk about your process for creating one of your songs? Maybe take your favorite one as an example. Like how did you
Sure.
How did you go about that? What did it look like?
So hip hop can be a little bit different in terms of like the instrumentation, because I can just go online and find a beat that already is done, and then I can just write my lyrics over it. I would say that's pretty popular in the more entry level rap, but I'm producing my own music now. I know how to play the drums. I'm learning piano because I want to put more of my own identity into more of the song instead of just like let's just look up something that everyone else has on the internet. Like I'm trying to have my own sound. So I am growing in terms of that. So you'll probably see more songs come out that are fully produced by me. Because right now, the one that I just wrote, or the one that I said is my favorite, I didn't make that instrumentation. I just wrote all the lyrics for it and sang it, but I didn't actually make the music for it. I guess it kind of depends though on the song too, or the idea. Because sometimes I'll listen to instrumentation first to see if it inspires an emotion in me before I start writing. But then there are times when I have a lot of ideas in my phone because inspiration kind of strikes me at the weirdest times. And I'll be like, ooh, that would be a good topic to talk about in a song. So like I'll write it down in my phone and I have all these things that I can come back to later once I'm in the studio and like, I want to talk about this certain emotion. So then I'll look for beats or instrumentations that kind of fit that emotion. But I'm a writer at heart first. I like expressing what I have to say. And I guess every song I've ever made is just kind of different. So it's hard to like pinpoint the process on how that goes. But a lot of the times I'll write a verse that I think is cool. And because I don't have anywhere to put it, I'll just like leave it on the back burner for a little while. I have a bunch of verses or even hook ideas. The thing I use the most in my phone for music is my voice memo. Because I'll have like a melody idea, like how I want to sing something or how I want a guitar to sound in a certain beat or something. I have a bunch of very jumbled ideas in there and I can always come back to them. My problem is though I have to label stuff because then you're going back through stuff and you're like, what am I even saying? What is I don't even know what I'm doing with this. I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope it was a little helpful. Yeah. I'm a writer. That's.
Yeah, so you are a writer, and also I feel like the way that I don't know what it's called, cadence or melody, but the way that you put the words
Sure.
with the music, even if you didn't write the music, is musical.
Yes.
And so
The melody part definitely is. Yeah.
That's I almost think of it as playing a percussion instrument with your voice.
Because your voice is an instrument.
While you're speaking the lyrics, and I didn't know, like, does that just kind of come naturally to you, or do you have a?
So that's like not in a religious way, but that's like the God in me where it's like it just is happening. And it's just like, if I don't know what to say, sometimes I'll just play something and I'll just freestyle over it until an idea kind of sticks. And all that stuff that's coming out of me, I don't know where it's coming from. It's just kind of like you're letting it happen. Sometimes it's cool and sometimes it isn't. But
And from like just being in the same room with her as like some of like this process is happening, a lot of it I think for like subconsciously even for it could come from just like the emotion that she's feeling with it.
Yep.
Because like in that last song, like her bars and everything are very sharp, pointed, like she's not dragging things out a lot when she's spitting those lines and everything, and that's to the vibe of the song is very pointed and everything as well. So like I feel like
I agree. I do try to use my voice in tangent with it. I don't ever try to compete with it.
No, and I think that's just something you have an ear for.
Sure.
So when you're like freestyling, you're like, yeah, that fits what I am imagining. This is the feeling of this song.
A lot of times it's how it sounds before I even put a lyric on it. Because I'll just, if we're listening to a beat, I'll just be blabbing nonsense. I'll be like, la, 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 la. I don't really like it like that. And then you're just kind of flirting with it until it kind of becomes this open puzzle piece. And then it's like, I like the way this sounds, so now I'm just going to plug in words until it makes sense. But the sound of it is more important to me first, because usually when people are listening to music, they're taking in so much of it. Unless you're a lyricist, you're probably not just listening to what I have to say. You're taking it all in at once. So sometimes I get too concerned about the lyrics, and I'm like, Shle, they're gonna experience the whole thing.
That's another way of saying it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm trying to be more okay with that part, doing some of my talking instead of always having so much to say, letting the tone kind of say it for me, which is why I'm flirting outside of rap a little bit because I feel like singing, there's so much more room for me to project an emotion. Rap can be very limiting in that way, which is why I like flirting outside of it a little bit. But when I want to come for it, I got songs like Solo, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't fuck around with me. I can still come. I may be singing and stuff, but yeah.
I was gonna say, how do you maintain your creativity?
The thing is I really am like just a creative person in general, and I get a lot of my inspiration outside of music, painting. I like going to museums. I like watching other people's processes on like YouTube, or I'll watch people like put tables together with resin. It's just like, I'm just always trying to see what I'm very visually stimulated by stuff. So like I have a Pinterest, and sometimes when I'm like writing, I'll just go through certain vibes on Pinterest. Like I kind of think of emotion in terms of color. So I'll look up, if I'm feeling purple, I'll look up like purple aesthetic. And it's kind of like you're looking for just words even sometimes, but to stay creative, I don't know if it's always like I'm staying that way. It's more of how is it coming out that day? And sometimes I get down on myself because it's not coming out in a musical way. But if I'm getting it out at all, I think it always kind of flows back into that regardless, if I'm just okay with it coming out and not always having expectation.
I think that Shle is somebody that's creative by any means as well, whether that be like going on a walk and taking some photos, or hearing one specific sound that she tries to get in her voice memos and stuff, and then like tries to do something with it later, or like recently she's been doing like this little vlog and everything. Like she just creates all
It's
the
my
time.
way of like
And
finding purpose, I guess, in the world. So I don't know if I'm trying to stay creative. It's just like always pouring out of me. And I don't know if that's a good answer, but I have writer's block a lot. And I just feel like it goes hand in hand with me facing my problems. Writing music is usually from a very introspective place for me, and it's helped me face some of my own issues. And sometimes I'm not ready to face them, so I'll be like, oh, I don't want to write today because I don't want to talk about the thing that my body wants to talk about that day. But if you're ever struggling with finding inspiration, I would really go outside of your craft and like just try painting, go to a painting class, go to the art museum. I go to museums all the time. I think that stuff is very, I don't think creativity is like this straight line. So it's like we're all very creative humans. I just feel like in general are creative, and sometimes people are like, oh, you're just so talented in the creative space. It's like, I feel you're limiting yourself because all humans can think about something that isn't here right now. You know, like the building, the chair, like someone had to come up with that up here before it was ever possible. And that's in all of us. So I don't think people are like more creative than others. I think they've like told themselves they aren't creative, because that's, humans make shit out of nothing. We're the only things in the universe that can do that, you know? So I try to not get down on myself when I'm like not feeling like I'm doing what I should be doing that day. I don't know if I'm answering any of your questions. I'm so fucking long-winded. I'm sorry. Sure.
So, and I do art, writing, and music. And when am done with one, I go to the next.
Yep.
So art, writing, music. It's just art, writing, music. That's how I live. Now I'm starting to have sounds.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm starting to go. Boing, choop, hey, yeah. I don't know what to do with this shit.
Put it in a voice memo.
yeah, put it in a voice memo and send it to your local producer so they can sample it, because that was dope.
Do you have something that you can like record your voice on?
I guess my phone.
Yeah, just like dump them on there. And like maybe in a couple months, maybe all of a sudden you'll know what to do with them.
Because they are there, man.
Get them out.
And like
Get them out.
as like off pace as it may sound, like if it's just random noises and everything, one, it could go to so many different uses. Like if someone's trying to do animation or something and they need some like
Yeah, I need some of those
onomatopoeia
boing toing
you know
loings that you were
exactly
doing.
like that would be so
Hit up
so
Toy Story.
cool.
They might need some of that for Buzz Lightyear or something.
Yeah, like
You should just get it out. I wouldn't like judge yourself in that way. Just like, good, good.
Because I write all the time, I color, I blah, 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 and then sing. But this thing.
Yeah, I would get them out.
and yeah.
Yeah.
When doing it more, like it might even come out just a different way. Like you might just make one sound and all of a sudden you repeat it and then you find a rhythm with it and all of a sudden you're beatboxing or something. You know, like
I could
it
see you
can- It
beatboxing.
can transform to a bunch of
Yeah.
yeah.
So you could do that. I might have to hit you up.
For real, yeah.
Somebody who can help me do what this is happening.
And clearly something in you needs to get that out. Yeah. That's cool. Anyone else? I don't even know what time it is. I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
I have a question from somebody on here in chat.
What?
They're asking if you have any pre-show rituals.
I am usually very nervous before shows. I have a lot of anxiety before shows. I don't know if I have a ritual per se. I'm trying to drink tea before I perform. Because I was in the rap space for so long performing, I would always strain my voice because rap can be this aggressive thing. So I was always just fucking yelling. And I had to like figure that out because I'm like 3 songs in and like losing my voice. I'm like, okay, how can Mariah Carey be up here for like an hour and a half? Like, I don't know what this is. So I'm trying to take better care of my voice. Trying to do like vocal warm-ups a little bit. But besides that, I try to just find a place of calm because I'm always overthinking everything that needs to be happening. So I don't know if I have a ritual yet. It's more of a finding peace in some way. It's not a good answer.
Back in like 18, 19, we were doing a bunch of shows and we tried to fill the day beforehand with stuff that wasn't stressful that we enjoyed.
Tacos. We
yeah,
would always
so
get tacos.
It was a bee sting from Anodyne Coffee and some tacos from Super Taquero Don Pancho on was it
6 in Greenfield?
6 in
5th in
Greenfield.
Greenfield?
Check it out. It's amazing if you haven't been there. But yeah, just doing something that makes you feel good and can almost like take your mind off of it because there's a lot of pre-show anxiety. I'm sure that lots of people feel.
It's like hurrying up to wait.
Yeah.
That feeling. I don't like doing that. And then you feel like you're gonna shit your pants right up until you say the first word.
Yep.
You're like, all right, I'm here. Can't turn around now. So
Just do things to take care of your mind so you don't strain it so heavily before the show starts.
yeah.
I don't know about the shit your pants part. I didn't have that yet.
I have a question. Do you feel like, I feel like this is probably, there is no such thing as a stupid question, but do you feel like sometimes it's easier to sing about something that's really emotional than to actually like do the thing that you're singing about? I feel like for myself, for example, I am really bad at knowing how I'm feeling about something.
Sure.
Like I'm really like dead on the inside until it's like, oh my God, this like I've passed this point where I can like ignore it. Now I'm like, wow, this is really awful. What am I doing? So do you ever, and maybe I'm just, this is a me thing, but do you ever feel like I didn't recognize that until I started doing music and now I'm like, oh shit, this thing.
Yes.
That's kind of what you're already
And
talking
like
about.
there's some times when like I'm writing stuff and I get too logical with music sometimes, and it doesn't have to be. There's times I've written a song, and I'm not sure if someone asked me what it was about, I could articulate necessarily what it was even about. But then like a year will go by, and then I listen to that song again, and all of a sudden it kind of makes more sense now. And it was like, oh, my body just needed to like get that out, and it did make sense. It was just like it took time for me to actually align with it. I really try to not judge, even when I'm feeling like the dead inside, because like that's like I get that stuff, and then I don't want to be like too much in a song, or I don't want to be too vulnerable or too. I don't know. Sometimes people think you're looking for pity or something, and then it's like, nah, I'm just like, this is really how I'm just feeling in this moment. And I would just let it out. And then sometimes I just leave it at that, and I try not to judge what it is until later. I don't know if that helps. Sure. Did I answer it? Was I close? Okay. Okay. I'm trying. I'm sorry if I'm not really answering them.
Now I'm mining, I've got like bunches of journals, hundreds.
Okay.
And I just write right when the crap's happening. I write right then, because that's when the rich stuff comes out.
Rich.
So I figure, oh, later I'll have a quote, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm filling another journal. Now I'm into mining my journals.
Sure.
Because I'm getting older, nobody else wants to. So, what am I looking for? I mean, sometimes I'm just like those little high pops.
That's up to you.
But in terms of the music and the sound, you want to put it all together in a performance
Sure.
motif.
Well, it seems like you're a writer first. So this is just a suggestion. You have your own process, but you have all these words, all these journals, and I would just like find something that's still like when you read it, it still kind of lights up a little bit in here. If it's something that you can expand on, then you can use that one line for a whole song and kind of find instrumentation that's fitting that thing that's lighting you up in here.
That's like
Sometimes you can put a lot of things together. You could use them as the lines of just pick random lines out of the thing, and you're like, all right, I got a verse. I picked 16 lines out of this diary, and they all kind of fit together, or they don't have to. You don't even have to put a limit on it, but you've clearly done the work of getting the emotion out. So now you can use it as a puzzle piece for something.
And that's like something that Shle was saying before with the Pinterest, looking up a color. So just trying to find let's say she writes down whatever, and then it's just like, oh yeah, this makes me feel lime green. So then look up lime green, see what else of an emotion that sparks for you, and then like attach to that and use that as your spark to keep on going with translating that into music instead of just writing.
Yeah, like maybe some of the words in there, like you can identify with a color, and then like over time it's like, ooh, I have a lot of purple things happening here. Maybe I could do something with this, a lot of green. Yeah, based on emotion. I think that would be cool. I'm a very visual person, so that helps me a lot. And just try not to put too much limitation on yourself. That's like my biggest, I do that to myself so much. Like it has to be this certain thing. And it's like, just stop it. Actually, just make the song.
And if you feel
It's so
stuck,
annoying.
just try something new with it. Like
just throw paint at the wall.
Yeah.
Like that helps me all the time. Like sometimes if I'm not feeling creative, it's like, all right, let's see. I haven't used lime green in a while in one of my songs. So let's just see what this is about. And all of a sudden it'll take you. Trying it all is never a waste of time.
yeah. Yes.
Fire. Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to me blab for an hour or whatever I did. Thanks. I hope I didn't talk too much. I know that I could be cool.